Hi guys. So I'm gonna try my best to film this video in one take, which is gonna be a little bit hard because I do have a pretty bad stutter and I tend to just like doze off into different sub stories and whatever. I'm very bad at telling stories. And if you hear background noise, it's just my cat Yuki, so enjoy. And if it sounds a bit airy and like white noisy, it's my AC, and I'm just not gonna turn that off because it's gonna get really hot and I don't want to start sweating. Anyway, I'm gonna do a journal prompt this evening because I don't really feel like writing. Today is a really bad day. Just a lot happened and I just feel kind of numb, and I feel like I need to talk about something just for the sake of talking about things, just so, because I haven't really talked at all. And yeah, so today's journal prompt that I'm going to be verbalizing instead of writing in my journal, the prompt is list things or people that you find inspiring. And so I wrote it down on this little notepad that I have. This notepad is very arbitrary. The first few pages are an annotation on Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. And then I quoted the movie The Holdovers on one of the pages. I also annotated the movie Metropolitan, which that movie made me feel really stupid, but I guess it didn't, because I wrote a lot. Oh, no, I didn't. I wrote abolish all gingers. No offense if you are a ginger watching this. But yeah, anyway, sorry. See, getting off track. People and things that I find inspiring. The first thing is movies, particularly coming of age movies. I know coming of age as a genre is something that you kind of just grow out of, especially when you are done coming of age, I guess. But I don't know, I feel like I'm only 21, so I'm still a young adult. I guess I'm still coming into terms with my age, but maybe when I'm like 25, 26, I'll be over it, but for now, I still find it very interesting. Maybe it's because I didn't really have a very normal teenage experience. I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, I'm like, my life is so like unique. Like, I'm not like the other girls. Like, I just, lots of shit happened, so I didn't get a lot of the opportunities that a typical teenager would have, like walking on a stage with a tassel, graduating, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I love coming of age movies because it feels like I get to live my youth vicariously through these characters and stuff. But when it comes to like coming of age movies that are like around my age, like 21, like Lady Bird and stuff, I think those movies, there's always something to dissect and apply in your own life. And I know a lot of people don't really like the movie Lady Bird. I mean, it's a very well-loved movie. Like, I think it's unpopular to not like Lady Bird. But, I get the people, particularly, like, women that don't like Lady Bird, because it's very, like, very white girl. Like, it's a lot of white girl experiences. Like, Lady Bird would not survive with an Asian mom. But I feel like the fact that it's so surface level to what motherhood is like to a woman of color, I feel like that's why it's a blank slate of a movie, which I think is great, because then you can take stuff and then elaborate on it. I don't know, I'm just rambling, but that's the point of this video. I'm supposed to ramble anyway. Yeah, love coming of age movies. Those are really inspiring. Number two, that I find inspiring is old people. I love old people, the elderly. Like, my dream job is to work at a senior housing facility. What are those called? A nursing home. I don't know, I just love talking to old people. They know so much. They've been through so much. They have so much to talk about. and some of them don't even get the chance to talk about things. Like, I don't know, my mom considers me to be a very old soul, and while I don't really agree with her in the sense that, like, you know, like, in terms of how I talk, how I look, I guess, like, I'm not very old soul. Like, when I meet new people my age, like, I don't think they think that I'm very old soul. Also, my vernacular is very recent, so, like, it's very in tune with the Gen Z Lexus. But when it comes to, I guess, like, in my family, I'm one of the youngest among my cousins, because I'm an only child, so the closest thing I have to my siblings are my cousins, and I'm the second youngest. And all of my aunts and uncles, I have, I primarily grew on my mom's side. I have 6 uncles and 2 aunts, and my mom is the youngest out of 9 children. And I don't know if I should be airing that out on the internet, actually, but yeah, I know. Growing up with 4 of those uncles, 3 of those uncles, I don't know. I grew up with a lot of uncles, and all of them were my father figures. One in particular was, like, my favorite uncle. Like, everyone has a favorite uncle, I think, but yeah, like, they were all born, like, in the early 20th century. Like, they were all, like, my mom is the youngest, and she was born in 1969. I was pretty old now, I guess. Like, not to throw shade at my mom, but it's pretty old. And I had to be, I didn't speak English at home. I had to, adapt to their very dated, what's it called? Their oh my god, I'm tweaking. Their language, their intonation. Like, I had to, like, how, like, in America, there's, like, transatlantic accents and stuff like that in the 1920s. Like, my grandma was born in 1922, and my grandfather was born in 1908. I've never met my grandfather, but I did grow up with my grandma, and she did raise me for a bit. She had that accent whenever she tried to speak English with me, but she also had a particular accent when she spoke in our native language, and my cat is fighting with my other cat on the door. But yeah, no, yeah, like, at home, everything was very analog as well. The music that I listened to, very old. And I kind of, growing into my teenage years, I used to think I was so cool for being into, like, 80s music, because that's all I grew up listening to. And then, like, Stranger Things and all of that came out, and then everyone started listening to 80s music, and I don't know why, that pissed me off, because it's like, why is everyone... You bitches don't know anything. You guys just found out about this shit just now. Like, I knew this when I was born. Anyway, but yeah. But I don't really find it insulting when my mom says I'm an old soul, because she is right in a way that when I communicate with my family members, I have to be very, like, in tune with how they were raised, like how my mom and her siblings were raised, because there's a lot of generational trauma, and when you come from an Asian family, there's not, like, emotion is kind of seen as a weakness. So I had to kind of just, like, play along with that, and grew up as the niece or the kid that listens to what their aunts have to rant about, or what their uncles have to say and stuff like that. And, like, I hear a lot of their stories, and I never really got to, like, express anything, which, like, it sounds really bad, but probably is. But my family loved me very much, and they taught me a lot at a very young age. But yeah, also my lifestyle is just very analog. I'm very much like a grandma. I have a lot of cats. I read a lot of books. I read, like, books with coffee in my hands, and then maybe I'll do a crossword at the newspaper. If I had a pipe, like the smoking pipe thing, I probably would smoke that. If I also didn't have chronic asthma, like, I don't know. Yeah, sorry. Oh my god, this is so awkward. I don't know if I can film one video in one take. I think I might have to edit this, but I'm trying my best not to. So, if you're watching this and I didn't edit it, so sorry. Also, my talking, like, pace is very, I don't know, sometimes I'm really slow, sometimes I'm really fast. It's not very appeasing to the ears, I believe, but anyway, I need to stop getting ahead of myself. Yeah, an analog lifestyle. I cannot study from a computer. I have to use a textbook, which is very financially challenging. But anyways, the next thing that I find inspiring is Peter Staley. Peter Staley is an American activist known for his activism during the AIDS epidemic in America. He went on the podcast called A Bit Fruity Pod, starring Matt Bernstein, and that was one of the best podcast episodes I've ever listened to in my entire life. You should watch it. It's on YouTube. Next thing I find inspiring is core stuff, like core videos. Like, I will always stop on Instagram and before TikTok. I just love core videos. Like, they're so fun. They make me cry a lot, but happy tears. And I can just imagine, like, someone really, really going through it and then considering doing something really bad and then seeing a core video and then being like, oh my god, maybe I shouldn't do that bad thing I was just thinking about. Because it's happened to me before. So yeah, I also love, like, on Pinterest. I use Pinterest now. Like, I kind of deleted TikTok. I deleted TikTok. So I substituted my urge to go on TikTok with going on Pinterest instead. Because with Pinterest, like, I can only go on Pinterest for a certain amount of time. Like, I will start to be aware that I'm on Pinterest. Whereas when you're on, like, TikTok or, like, Instagram Reels, like, it's just endless. And especially when you have nothing to do that day, like, you'll spend hours on it. But anyway, on Pinterest, there's a lot of core like, liminal type photos and stuff, and they have, like, really, like, profound sentences on there. They're so like, they're kind of like dreamcore as well. There's kind of eerie, but anything liminal, like liminal images on Pinterest, I don't know, it's so there's a lot to think about. I start, like, yeah. I don't know where I was going with it. I started thinking of Timothée Chalamet at the end of Beautiful Boy when he started reciting the Charles Bukowski poem, but then I realized, like, how much I hate Charles Bukowski, so then that wasn't really, like, I don't know. Anyway, next thing I find inspiring are, this is a bit peculiar. Another thing I find inspiring is absent streetlights in roads, like highways, and there's no streetlights. It's very rare. It's probably not legal, but I've seen it, and I've seen cars approaching, and it's such a sight. It's scary. There's an ounce of adrenaline you feel with your fear, unless you have, like, a very tiny or non-existent amygdala. But dude, when you go to a road in the middle of the night and then there's no street lights or any light visible, and then you see a car approaching with their, like, headlights, it's like seeing the headlights approach you, obviously not in front of the car because you're dead, but I don't know, something about headlights on a car passing by you in pitch darkness is so, and I don't know why it's inspiring, but to me it just makes me think about a lot of words and memories. It kind of feels like you're in limerence, but you don't know with who, or you're kind of in limbo. It's kind of between life and death, but, like, in a very non-suicidal way. I think it's such a cool thing to experience because you also don't really think about time, and one of my biggest fears is time, which I will not get into now because it's a big topic. But anyway, next thing I find inspiring are meeting people who have sorry, it was my cat. Duh. Next thing I find inspiring are meeting people who have been through a lot and still have it. Next thing I find inspiring are people who have been through a lot and are still here despite everything that they've been through. The next person I find inspiring is George Harrison. I don't want to elaborate on that because I know too much about that man. It's kind of scary. I love George Harrison's music so much. My favorite George Harrison song is, there's two. It's Your Love Is Forever and Dark Sweet Lady. Those are my favorite George Harrison songs. Give them a listen. They're really good. Next thing I find inspiring, like genuinely makes me want to be a better person, genuinely makes me want to achieve things in life, are women who know a lot about Greek mythology or like the Roman Empire. Like I know there's like the whole thing of like, oh, my Roman Empire is this, or only like all guys think about is the Roman Empire. But like, have you ever met a woman who knows about like the Peloponnesian Wars and then going into the Roman Empire? Like, they're out there, and when you meet them, they're so, like, oh, like, I think the woman who wrote, wait, let me search it up. My cat decided to. Okay, yeah, SPQR, A History of Ancient Rome, book by Mary Beard. I just started reading it, because I want to be one of those women who know a lot about the Roman Empire. She wrote it, and then I watched like a reel on Instagram of her talking. Dude, what the hell? Like, I can't believe people like that are real. I don't know. I don't find the Roman Empire, like the history and concept of it itself, like particularly interesting. Like, yeah, okay, whatever, you can learn a lot about it, but like when it's a woman talking about it, I don't know, if you've read like the Song of Achilles or something, I think that's my introduction to all of this, like why I find that inspiring, because when I read the Song of Achilles and then I realized that someone could write like that, I don't know, dude, it prompted a lot of thinking and appreciation. The next thing I find interesting are Dada art and the Dutch Golden Age of paintings. Like the lady with the pearl earring, like that's Dutch Golden Age, I think. I don't know, they're just beautiful artworks, and I like looking at them. Whenever I go to museums, they're always there. They're never missing. I think that's cool. Next thing I find interesting, I need to wrap this up. I've been talking for almost 20 minutes. Next thing I find interesting is writing is therapy, which is true. I just, like yesterday or the other day, I filmed a video that was like 40 minutes long. I think I'm gonna delete it because I didn't like the way like the lighting looked in the video. Like it was actually like terribly bad. Like, and I was like sitting in one place like I am right now. It was just bad. But I was talking about my journals and like all of my writing equipment, like my notepads and everything, and I went through them and I went through my entries and stuff. And although like while I was filming it, I was like raging with so much passion for the art of writing, but the video turned out terrible. But yeah, no, I love writing so much. This is my journal. I started it last month and I'm already 60 pages in. And this was the headlights thing I was talking about, because I was sitting at the sea next to my house. Or not at the sea, I was sitting on the seaside next to my house, and there was no street lights there. So yeah, anyway. Next thing I find inspiring are the smallest and most irrelevant memories, and like remembering them on a random day. If I can think of a random memory now. One time, me and my best friend Talia were on the football field in our school, and it was after school, and we were giving each other piggyback rides, and my hair was braided the whole day, and I took it out of the braids, and then I borrowed my friend's tie-dye shirt, and me and Talia were just running around the field, and it was so fun. We just kept on laughing, and those were one of the core memories that I don't often think about, actually, because when I look back at like how I looked at that time, I was just so careless that I kind of envy her, so I kind of just keep her at the back of my mind. Old me. But now I look back at her Now that I've looked back to her now, I think she's cool. I think she's smart. I think she's so funny. And Talia too. But yeah, I think that's all. That's all I've written. Sorry for the lengthy video. I don't know if I'm gonna upload this, if I'm gonna edit and upload this, if I'm not gonna edit it, if I'm about that. Bye.